Chapter 1. The rejection. The Silverclaw Pack's gathering hall buzzed with anticipation. The air thick with the scent of pine and nervous sweat. Torches flickered along the stone walls, casting shadows over the assembled wolves. Zara Finn stood at the center of the raised platform, her heart pounding like a war drum. At 18, she was lean but strong, her dark brown hair tied back, amber eyes scanning the crowd. Today was the ceremony to confirm her as the mate of Jackson Roon, the future alpha. The mate bond had snapped into place months ago. A warm, unshakable pull that tied her soul to his. She dreamed of this moment, of standing beside him as his. Luna. Jackson stood across from her, his broad shoulders tense under his black tunic, his storm-gray eyes avoiding hers. At 20, he was already a commanding presence, his jaw sharp and his dark hair tousled. The pack elders, led by the stern-faced Elder Mara, watched from the front row, their expressions unreadable. Zara's best friend, Lila Voss, lingered at the edge of the platform, her freckled face tight with worry. Jackson Roon. Elder Mara's voice cut through the murmurs. Do you accept Zara Finn as your mate and future Luna of the Silverclaw Pack? The hall fell silent. Zara's breath hitched. She expected Jackson's deep voice to affirm their bond, to seal their future. Instead, he stepped forward, his fists clenched, his gaze fixed on the floor. I, Jackson Roon, future alpha of Silverclaw Pack, reject you, Zara Finn, as my mate and Luna. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Zara's world tilted, her chest tightening as if a blade had pierced her heart. The mate bond, once a warm thread, burned like fire, the pain of rejection searing through her veins. She'd heard stories of this agony, but nothing prepared her for its raw, tearing intensity. Her knees trembled, but she locked them, refusing to collapse. Why? The word slipped out before she could stop it, her voice cracking. She hated the vulnerability in it, the plea that hung in the air. Jackson's jaw tightened. Kaya, his eyes flickering to her for a moment, before darting away. It's for the pack, he said, his voice low but firm. You're not suited to be Luna. The words stung worse than the rejection itself. Not suited. She trained alongside him, fought as fiercely as any warrior, studied pack law, until her eyes burned. The crowd murmured, some with pity, others with cruel amusement. Lila stepped forward, her green eyes blazing, but Zara held up a hand to stop her. Elder Mara cleared her throat. Zara Finn, do you accept this rejection? Zara's throat burned, her wolf howling inside her, urging her to fight, to scream. But she wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing her break. She straightened, her amber eyes locking onto Jackson's. She saw it then, a flicker of pain in his gaze, a mirror of her own. He wasn't untouched by this, but it didn't matter. He'd made his choice. I, Zara Finn of Silverclaw Pack, accept your rejection, she said, her voice steady despite the agony ripping through her. The bond snapped, a final, brutal tear that left her hollow. She turned, ignoring the whispers, and walked off the platform, her head high. Leela caught up to her outside the hall, the cool night air a sharp contrast to the stifling heat inside. Zara, wait. That bastard, how could he do this? Zara shook her head, her hands trembling, as she clenched them. I don't know, Lila, but I can't stay here. Not after this. You're leaving. Lila's voice broke. Where will you go? Anywhere but here, Zara said, her gaze fixed on the dark forest beyond the pack's territory. I won't be their pity case. As she walked away, the weight of Jackson's rejection settled into her bones, but so did a spark of resolve. She would survive this. She had to. Chapter 2. Exiled. The forest was a labyrinth of shadows, the moon barely piercing the dense canopy above. Zara stumbled over roots, her pack slung over one shoulder, her boots sinking into the damp earth. The pain of the broken mate bond lingered, a dull ache in her chest, but she pushed it down. She'd left Silverclaw 2 days ago, her only possessions: a dagger, a change of clothes, and a water skin. Hunger gnawed at her, but she refused to stop. Stopping meant thinking, and thinking meant feeling. A rustle in the bushes made her freeze, her hand on her dagger. Her wolf senses sharpened, picking up a musky scent not to Silverclaw, not familiar. A figure emerged, a wiry man with matted, brown hair and yellowed eyes. A rogue wolf. "Lost, little wolf?" he asked, his voice rough but not hostile. "You're far from any pack lands." Zara tightened her grip on the dagger. "I'm passing through. I don't want trouble." D tilted his head, studying her. "You're no ordinary runaway. That pain in your eyes rejection, isn't it?" She flinched, hating how transparent she was. "What's it to you?" "Name's Torin," he said, stepping closer but keeping his hands open. "I've seen that look before. I was rejected too, years ago. Nearly broke me. But you're still standing, so you're tougher than most." Zara didn't respond, weary but curious. Torin gestured to a small campfire flickering nearby. "Got some rabbit roasting. You look like you could use it." Hunger won over caution. She sat across from him, the fire's warmth easing the chill in her bones. As they ate, Torin spoke of his life as a rogue, surviving on wits and instinct. He didn't pry, but his questions were sharp. "Why'd you leave?" he asked, tossing a bone into the fire. "They didn't want me," Zara said simply. "My mate, Ked's match rejected me in front of everyone. Said I wasn't good enough." Torin snorted. "Sounds like a fool. A mate bond's rare. Throwing it away for pride or politics. That's a weak alpha." Zara stared into the flames, Jackson's face flashing in her mind. "He said it was for the pack." "Excuses," Torin said. "A real leader owns their choices, doesn't hide behind duty." Hayes' words struck a chord. Zara had always followed the rules, trained to be the perfect pack member, but it hadn't been enough. Maybe it was time to forge her own path. "Got anywhere to go?" Torin asked. "No," she admitted, "but I'll figure it out." He nodded, a glint of respect in his eyes. "It's a pack north of here, Iron Fang. Small, half-broken, but they take in strays. This might be a place to start." Zara memorized the name, Iron Fang. It sounded like a challenge, and she needed one. As dawn broke, she thanked Torin and set off, the rogue's words echoing in her mind. "You're tougher than most." Chapter 3. The new pack, the Iron Fang pack's territory, was a rugged stretch of hills and sparse forest, far from Silverclaw's lush valleys. Zara approached cautiously, her senses alert. The pack's camp was a cluster of wooden cabins, some half-collapsed, surrounded by wolves who looked more like survivors than a cohesive unit. A tall woman with cropped black hair and scars crisscrossing her arms stepped forward, her brown eyes sharp. "State your business," she said, her voice carrying authority. "I'm Zara Fenn," Zara replied, meeting her gaze. "I'm looking for a pack. I heard Iron Fang takes in those who need a home." The woman, who introduced herself as Rhea, second in command, studied Zara. "We don't take just anyone. What can you offer?" "I can fight," Zara said. "Trained with Silverclaw's warriors." "I'm not afraid of hard work." Rhea's lips twitched, not quite a smile. "Silverclaw, huh? Fancy pack. Why'd you leave?" Zara hesitated, then decided honesty was her best shot. "My mate rejected me. I couldn't stay." A murmur rippled through the gathered wolves. Rhea's expression softened slightly. "Rejection's a heavy burden, but we don't coddle here. Prove yourself, and you're welcome." Zara was put to work immediately, hauling logs to repair cabins and sparring with pack members. Her training held up, her speed and precision earning grudging nods. A young wolf named Finn, barely 16, with the mop of red hair, became her shadow, peppering her with questions. "You really fought with Silverclaw's best?" Finn asked, dodging her practice strike. "What were they like?" "Disciplined," Zara said, parrying his clumsy lunge, "but not unbeatable." "You've got potential, Finn, but you need to stop telegraphing your moves." He grinned, undeterred. Over weeks, Zara found a rhythm. Rhea pushed her hard, testing her in hunts and strategy sessions. The pack's alpha, an older wolf named Gavin, was a quiet figure, his health failing. Zara noticed the pack's morale was low, their unity fraying. One night, around a communal fire, Rhea sat beside her. "You're not like the others who come. Here, Zara, you've got fire. Gavin's not long for this world. We'll need a new alpha soon." Zara shook her head. "I'm no leader. Not yet," Rhea said. "But you could be." The idea felt impossible, but it planted a seed. Zara threw herself into training, pushing her body and mind to their limits. She wasn't just surviving. She was building something. Chapter 4, Rising Alpha, 5 years later. Zara stood at the crest of a hill, overlooking Iron Fang's territory. The camp was transformed. Sturdy cabins, a training ground, and a thriving garden. At 23, Zara was no longer the broken girl who'd fled Silverclaw. Her frame was muscular, her amber eyes sharp with confidence. She'd become alpha. After Gavin's death, earning the title through a grueling challenge against Rhea, who now served as her beta alpha. Finn, now a lanky 21-year-old, jogged up, his red hair tied back. Scout spotted a bear near the eastern border. "Want me to handle it?" Zara shook her head. "I'll go. We can't afford to lose livestock." Rhea joined them, her scars catching the sunlight. "You're spreading yourself thin, Zara. Delegate more." "I delegate plenty," Zara shot back, but her tone was light. "Besides, the pack respects an alpha who gets her hands dirty." They tracked the bear, dispatching it with coordinated precision. Back at camp, the pack celebrated, roasting the meat and sharing stories. Finn, ever the storyteller, recounted Zara's first sparring match, exaggerating her moves until she laughed. "You make it sound like I took on a dragon," she said, nudging him. "Might as well have." Finn grinned. "You're a legend now." Rhea leaned in, her voice low. "You've done what no one thought possible, Zara. Iron Fangs stronger than ever. But you still carry that rejection like a weight." Zara's smile faded. She rarely spoke of Jackson, but the mate bond's ghost lingered, a faint ache she couldn't shake. "It's in the past," she said, but Rhea's knowing look told her she wasn't fooled. That night, Zara stood alone, staring at the stars. She'd built a home, a family, but part of her wondered if she'd ever be whole. The thought was interrupted by Finn's shout. A messenger had arrived, bearing an invitation to a regional pack summit hosted by Silverclaw. Chapter 5, The Call to Return the Messenger. A wiry wolf named Soren from Silverclaw stood in the center of Iron Fang's meeting hall. Zara sat on a wooden chair, Rhea and Finn flanking her as Soren delivered his message. "Alpha Zara," Soren said, his tone formal. "Silverclaw invites Iron Fang to a summit to discuss trade and defense alliances. Alpha Jackson Room requests your presence." The name hit Zara like a punch. Jackson. She kept her face neutral, but her heart raced. Kita's eyes flicked to her, concerned, while Finn shifted uncomfortably. "Why now?" Zara asked, her voice steady. "Silverclaw never cared about Iron Fang before." Soren hesitated. "The region's unstable, rogues are growing bolder. Alpha Jackson believes unity is our best defense." "Unity," Zara repeated, her tone dry. "Funny word from a pack that thrives on hierarchy." Soren flushed but didn't argue. After he left, the hall erupted in debate. Finn was eager, seeing the summit as a chance to show off Iron Fang's strength. Rhea was skeptical, warning of Silverclaw's politics. "We don't need them," Rhea said, crossing her arms. "We've built this pack without their help." "But we can't ignore the rogues," Finn countered. "If they're a threat, we need allies." Zara listened, her mind churning. Turning to Silverclaw meant facing Jackson, the pack, the memories. She thought of Lila, who'd sent letters over the years, begging her to visit. She thought of Eldamara, whose cold gaze had haunted her nightmares. And Jackson, his rejection, still burned, but so did the unresolved pool of their bond. "Zara." Rhea's voice broke her thoughts. "What's your call?" Zara stood, her jaw set. "We go. Iron Fang will show them what we've become, but we go on our terms." Finn cheered, but Rhea's frown lingered. As the pack prepared, Zara felt the weight of her past creeping back. She wasn't the girl who'd left Silverclaw. She wasn't Alpha now, and she'd prove it to Jackson, to the elders, and to herself. Chapter 6. The summit. The Silverclaw Pack's territory sprawled across a lush valley. Its central clearing transformed for the regional summit. Tents of woven hides and colorful banners marked the gathering, with wolves from a dozen packs mingling under the late afternoon sun. Zara Finn led the Iron Fang delegation, her posture commanding as she strode into the clearing. Flanked by Rhea, Finn, and a small contingent of warriors. At 23s, Zara was a striking figure, tall, muscular. Her dark brown hair braided tightly, amber eyes scanning the crowd with quiet intensity. Her black leather armor, etched with Iron Fang's claw insignia, gleamed a stark contrast to the nervous girl who'd fled this pack 5 years ago. The air buzzed with chatter, but it hushed as Zara's group approached. Heads turned, whispers spreading like wildfire. Finn, now a lanky 21-year-old with his red hair tied back, grinned at the attention. "They're staring, Alpha. Think we scared M already?" "Get your head on, Finn," Rhea muttered, her scarred arms crossed. "This isn't a game." Zara didn't respond, her gaze fixed ahead. She felt the weight of some curious, some hostile. Then she saw him. Jackson Room stood near the central pavilion, his broad frame unmistakable. His dark hair was shorter now, his storm gray eyes locking onto her with a jolt that stirred the dormant mate bond. He wore a deep blue tunic, the Silverclaw crest embroidered in silver, his alpha presence undeniable. Beside him stood Eldamara, her silver hair pulled tight, her cold gaze as piercing as Zara remembered. Lila Voss, Zara's old friend, hovered nearby, her freckled face lighting up when she spotted Zara, before Zara could process the rush of emotions. Jackson approached, his stride deliberate. The crowd parted, tension crackling in the air. "Alpha, Zara," he said, his deep voice formal but tinged with something softer. "Welcome to Silverclaw. Iron Fang's reputation precedes you." Zara met his gaze, her expression unyielding. "Alpha Jackson," she replied, her tone cool. "We're here for the summit, nothing more." His jaw tightened, a flicker of pain in his eyes, but he nodded. "The council tent is this way. We'll begin shortly." As he turned, Lila broke from the group, rushing to Zara. "Zara," she cried, pulling her into a fierce hug. "Knew you'd come back a queen. Look at you." Zara softened, returning the embrace. "It's good to see you, Lila. You haven't changed a bit." Lila grinned, brushing her auburn hair from her face. "I'm a proper pack diplomat now, but you, Alpha, I need every detail." "Later," Zara promised, glancing at Rhea's impatient frown. "Duty calls." The council tent was a massive structure, its interior lit by torches and lined with wooden benches. Alphas and their advisors filled the space, their sense a chaotic mix of dominance and unease. Zara took her seat, Rhea and Finn at her sides, as Jackson opened the summit. His voice carried authority, outlining the rogue threat and the need for unified defense. Zara listened, noting the respect he commanded in the subtle glances he sent her way. "Alpha, Zara," Jackson said, turning to her. "Iron Fang borders rogue territory. What's your perspective?" Zara stood, her voice clear. Rogues are bolder because packs like Silverclaw hoard resources, while smaller packs starve. Share trade routes, and you'll starve the rogues." Numbers. Murmurs erupted, some approving, others skeptical. Eldamera's lips thinned. "Bold words from a new alpha," she said. "Iron Fang's success is recent. Can you back such demands?" Zara's eyes narrowed. "We've held our borders against rogues for years. Can Silverclaw say the same?" The tent buzzed, and Jackson's lips twitched, almost a smile. "Point taken," he said. "We'll discuss trade tomorrow. For now, let's adjourn." The crowd dispersed. Leela grabbed Zara's arm. "She just put Mara in her place. She's fuming." "Good," Zara said, but her eyes followed Jackson as he vanished into the crowd, the mate bond humming faintly in her chest. Chapter 7. Unwanted Sparks. Night fell, and the summit shifted to a feast under the stars. Long tables groaned with roasted venison, bread, and ale, while musicians played drums and flutes. Zara sat with her pack, Finn recounting their bear hunt with exaggerated flair to a group of wide-eyed Silverclaw wolves. Rhea scanned the crowd, her beta instincts on edge. Zara picked at her food, her mind on Jackson. She hated how her wolf stirred at his presence, how the bond refused to die. Lila slid onto the bench beside her, a mug of ale in hand. "So," she said, her green eyes mischievous, "Jackson's been staring at you all night. What's the story?" Zara said flatly, "He made his choice 5 years ago." Lila frowned. "It's not the same, Zara. He's haunted. I think he regrets it." "Regret doesn't change the past," Zara said, her voice sharp. She stood, needing air, and slipped away from the feast, heading toward a quiet grove. She didn't expect Jackson to follow. His scent pine and steel hit her before his voice did. "Zara," she turned, her heart racing despite herself. "Do you want Jackson to talk?" he said, stepping closer. His gray eyes searched hers, raw with something she didn't want to name. "You've changed. Iron Fang's incredible what you've built." "Don't," she snapped, her fists clenching. "Don't act like you care now." "I do care," he said, his voice low. "I never stopped. The rejection, it wasn't what you think." "Then what was it?" she demanded, stepping toward him. "You humiliated me, Jackson. You said I wasn't enough. Explain that." He hesitated, pain flashing across his face. "It was the elders, Mara, mostly. They said the pack needed a Luna from a stronger bloodline. I was young, stupid. I thought I was protecting Silverclaw." Zara laughed bitterly. "Protecting the pack. You broke me for politics. I broke myself too," he said, his voice cracking. "The bond had never went away, Zara. I feel it. Every day." His confession hit her like a blow, the mate bond flaring, warm and treacherous. She stepped back, shaking her head. "You don't get to say that. Not now." Before he could respond, Finn's voice cut through the grove. "Alpha. Trouble at the feast. Some bloodstone wolves picking a fight." Zara turned, grateful for the interruption. "Stay away from me, Jackson," she said, and strode back to the feast, her heart a storm of anger and unwanted longing. Chapter 8. Ghosts of the Past. The next morning, Zara woke to the scent of rain and the weight of Jackson's words. She'd barely slept, his confession replaying in her mind. The mate bond pulsed, a reminder of what she'd lost in what she refused to reclaim. She dressed in her armor, steeling herself for the summits. Second day. In the council tent, discussions turned to defense strategies. Zara proposed joint patrols, earning nods from smaller packs, but resistance from Silverclaw's allies. Elder Mara's voice cut through the debate. Iron Fang's ideas are bold, but untested. Silverclaw has led this region for decades. Led it into stagnation, Zara countered. Rogues thrive because you ignored the border packs. We're the ones fighting them. The tent erupted, alphas shouting over each other. Jackson raised a hand, silencing them. Zara's right. The borders are vulnerable. Silverclaw will commit warriors to joint patrols. Mara's eyes flashed, but she said nothing. After the meeting, Zara lingered, reviewing maps with Rhea and Finn. Lila approached, her expression hesitant. Zara, can we talk? Alone. They stepped outside, rain misting their faces. Lila fidgeted, then spoke. I heard Jackson talking to you last night. I wasn't spying, I swear. But there's more to the rejection you don't know. Zara's stomach twisted. What do you mean? Flashback to 5 years ago, Lila said, her voice low. I overheard Mara and Jackson's father, Alpha Torin, before the ceremony. Mara convinced Torin that you were too wild, too untested, to be Luna. They threatened to delay Jackson's Alpha title if he didn't choose you. Torin pressured Jackson, saying the pack would fracture under a weak Luna. Jackson fought them, but he was 20. Zara, he caved. Zara's breath caught, memories flooding back. Jackson's clenched fists, his averted gaze during the rejection. Why didn't you tell me then? I tried, Leela said, tears in her eyes. You left so fast. I wrote letters, but you never answered. Zara looked away, guilt mixing with her anger. I couldn't face anyone, not even you. I get it, Lila said softly, but Jackson's been punishing himself ever since. He's a good alpha, Zara, but he's not whole, not without you. Zara shook her head, the bond tugging painfully. It doesn't matter. I'm not that girl anymore. As Leela walked away, Zara's thoughts churned. Mara's manipulation changed the story, but not the pain. She rejoined her pack, focusing on the summit. But Jackson's presence across the tent was a constant pull. Chapter 9. Rivals emerged. The summit's third day brought a new player, Kel of the Bloodstone pack. Tall and lean, with jet black hair and piercing blue eyes, Kale exuded confidence as he entered the council tent. His pack, known for its wealth and aggression, held prime territory near Silverclaw. Zara sensed trouble the moment he smiled at her, his gaze calculating. Alpha, Zara, Kale said, his voice smooth as he took a seat beside her. Iron Fang's rise is the talk of the region. I'd love to discuss an alliance. Zara raised an eyebrow. What kind of alliance? Trade, defense? Perhaps more, Kale said, his tone suggestive. A strong alpha needs a strong partner, Finn snorted, earning a glare from Rhea. Zara kept her expression neutral. Iron Fang stands on its own, but I'm open to trade talks. Kale's smile widened, undeterred. Across the tent, Jackson's eyes darkened, his fists clenching. The meeting focused on rogue sightings, but Kale dominated, proposing a centralized army under his command. Zara opposed it, arguing for pack autonomy, while Jackson backed her. Their arguments aligning seamlessly. After the session, Kale cornered Zara outside. You're wasted on these small-minded alphas, he said. Join Bloodstone, and we could reshape this region. Zara crossed her arms. I'm not looking to be anyone's accessory, Kale. Iron Fang's his eyes gleamed. Now, but power shifts fast. As he walked away, Rhea joined Zara, her expression grim. He's trouble. Bloodstone's been eyeing our territory for months. Keep an eye on him, Zara said. Finn, scout their camp tonight. Discreetly. Finn nodded, eager. That evening, at the feast, Kale's presence loomed. He toasted Zara publicly, drawing eyes and whispers. Jackson watched, his jaw tight, as Lila leaned toward Zara. Kale's making a move. she whispered. He's challenging Jackson's authority and testing you. Zara nodded, her mind racing. Kale wasn't just a rival, he was a threat. And Jackson's reaction stirred something in her she couldn't ignore. Chapter 10. The First Clash to Summits. Final day featured ceremonial duels, a tradition to showcase pack strength. The clearing was packed, wolves cheering as warriors sparred. Zara watched, her pack buzzing with excitement. Finn had returned from scouting. Reporting Bloodstone's warriors were well armed, but overconfident. Kale approached Zara before her. Pack's turn. Care to spar, Alpha Zara? He asked, his tone light but challenging. Let's show them what real power looks like. The crowd hushed, sensing a spectacle. Zara stood, her amber eyes cold. You want a duel, Kale? You've got one? Cheers erupted as they took the field, circling each other. Kale was fast, his strikes precise, but Zara's training with Iron Fang had honed her instincts. She dodged, countering with a powerful kick that staggered him. The crowd roared, Finn and Lila shouting encouragement. You're good, Kale, panted, grinning. But I played dirty. Hey. He lunged, aiming low, but Zara anticipated it, flipping him onto his back. She pinned him, her knee on his chest. Healed, she said, her voice steady. Kale laughed, raising his hands. I yield, Alpha. For now. The crowd exploded, Iron Fang's warriors chanting Zara's name. Jackson watched from the sidelines, his expression a mix of pride and something deeper. Eldamara's face was a mask of displeasure, while Lila beamed, rushing to Zara as she left the field. You crushed him, Lila said. The whole region's talking about you now. Zara wiped sweat from her brow, her heart still racing. Good. Let them talk. Rhea clapped her shoulder. You've put Iron Fang on the map, but Kale won't forget this. Zara nodded, her eyes drifting to Jackson. He met her gaze, the mate bond flaring, and for a moment, the world narrowed too. Just them. Then Finn's voice broke the spell, calling her to celebrate with the pack. As Zara joined them, she felt the weight of her victory and the growing complexity of her ties to Jackson and the summit's dangerous game. Chapter 11. Jackson's apology. The summit's fourth day dawned with a crisp breeze, the scent of pine mingling with the tension that hung over Silverclaw's territory. Zara Fenn stood outside the Iron Fang delegation's tent, her breath visible in the cool morning air. Her victory over Kale in the ceremonial duel had solidified Iron Fang's reputation. But the encounter with Jackson Rune last night, his raw confession about the mate bond left her restless. She adjusted her leather armor, her amber eyes scanning the bustling camp, where wolves prepared for another round of negotiations. Rhea emerged from the tent, her scarred arms bare despite the chill. You look like you didn't sleep, she said, her brown eyes narrowing. Kale's duel or something else? Zara hesitated, then sighed. Jackson. He tried to explain the rejection, said it was the elder's pressure, not his choice. Rhea snorted. Convenient excuse. You buying it? I don't know, Zara admitted, her voice low. It doesn't erase the pain, but the bond's still there. I hate it. Before Rhea could respond, Finn jogged up, his red hair mussed. Alpha council meetings starting soon. Also, Lila's looking for you. Says it's urgent. Zara nodded, pushing thoughts of Jackson aside. She found Lila near the central pavilion, her freckled face tense. Zara, we need to talk, Lila said, pulling her aside. Jackson's a mess. He's been avoiding everyone since last night. I think he's planning to approach you again. Zara's jaw tightened. He already said his piece. I'm not here for his redemption. I know, Lila said softly. But he's not the only one struggling. The pack's elders are pressuring him to secure alliances, especially with Bloodstone. Kale's been cozying up to Mara. Zara's eyes narrowed. Kale's playing every angle. We need to watch him. As they headed to the council tent, Zara felt a prickle of awareness. Jackson stood near the entrance, his storm gray eyes locking onto her. He stepped forward, blocking her path. "Zara, can we talk?" "Alone." The crowd around them stilled, sensing the tension. Rhea and Finn exchanged glances, but Zara waved them off. "5 minutes," she said, her tone clipped. She followed Jackson to a secluded corner of the camp. Kay, her heart pounding despite her resolve. Jackson ran a hand through his dark hair, his expression raw. "I owe you more than words, Zara. What I did 5 years ago was the biggest mistake of my life. I was weak, letting Mara and my father dictate my choices. I thought I was saving the pack, but I only broke us both." Zara crossed her arms, her amber eyes cold. "You expect me to care about your regret?" You stood there, Jackson, in front of everyone, and said I wasn't enough. "Do you know what that did to me?" "I know," he said, his voice breaking, tooth of the bond tearing. "I've carried that pain every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness, not yet. Just don't shut me out completely." The mate bond flared, warm and insistent, stirring memories of their stolen moments before the rejection, shared laughter, quiet glances. Zara clenched her fists, fighting it. "You don't get to decide when I let you in. I'm an alpha now, Jackson. My pack comes first." He nodded, his gaze steady. "I respect that. But I'm not giving up. You deserve better than what I did, and I'll prove it." Before Zara could respond, a shout rang out Finn, calling her to the council tent. "Kay." She turned, leaving Jackson behind, her emotions a tangled mess. Inside the tent, she took her seat, focusing on the debate over trade routes. Kale's smooth voice dominated, proposing bloodstone control key paths, but Zara countered, advocating for equal access. Jackson backed her, their arguments sinking effortlessly, drawing surprised looks from the other alphas. After the meeting, Rhea leaned in. "You and Jackson work too well together. Be careful, Zara. That bond's dangerous." Zara nodded, but her mind was on Jackson's apology and the unsettling truth that part of her wanted to believe him. Chapter 12. Secrets uncovered. The summit's 5th day brought rain, turning the clearing into a muddy quagmire. Zara stood under a canopy, reviewing patrol schedules with Rhea and Finn, her mind still churning from Jackson's words. The mate bond was a constant hum, impossible to ignore, but she refused to let it distract her. Iron Fang's strength depended on her focus. Lila approached, her auburn hair plastered to her face. "Zara, I found something," she said, her voice low. "I was in the Silver Claw archives last night, looking for trade records. I found a journal morass. It mentions you." Zara's stomach twisted. "What did it say?" Lila glanced around, ensuring no one overheard. "Mara wrote about the rejection. She didn't just pressure Jackson, she orchestrated it. She saw you as a threat, Zara, your bloodline, your strength. She thought you'd challenge her influence over Silverclaw. She convinced Torin to force Jackson's hand." Zara's breath caught, anger surging. "She manipulated the entire pack to get rid of me." "There's more," Lila said. "Mara's been meeting with Kale in secret. I think she's pushing Jackson toward a Bloodstone alliance to keep control." Zara's mind raced, pieces falling into place. Jackson's hesitation, Mara's hostility. "I need to see that journal," she said. "It's locked in the archives," Lila replied. "But I can get you in tonight." That evening, Zara and Leela slipped into the Silver Claw archives, a stone building filled with dusty scrolls and leather-bound books. Leela led her to a locked chest, picking the lock with practiced ease. "Okay, perks of being a diplomat," she grinned. Inside was Mara's journal, its pages filled with meticulous notes. Zara read, her anger growing. Mara had detailed her plan to neutralize Zara, describing her as too volatile, too powerful. She'd leveraged Torin's fears of pack instability, ensuring Jackson's rejection. Recent entries mentioned Kale. hinting at a deal to secure Bloodstone's dominance in exchange for Mara's influence. Zara closed the journal, her hands trembling. "She stole my life," she whispered. Leela touched her arm. "Lee built a better one, but what now?" "Confront her," Zara said, her voice still. "After the summit, she doesn't get to hide this." As they left the archives, Zara felt a shift. Mara's betrayal reframed Jackson's actions, softening her anger toward him. Trust was another matter, and she wasn't ready to give it. The next morning, Zara faced the council with renewed resolve. She proposed a coalition of border pacts to counter rogues, subtly challenging Bloodstone's ambitions. Kale's smile was tight, his blue eyes calculating. Jackson supported her, his presence a steady anchor. But Mara's cold gaze followed her every word. After the meeting, Finn pulled Zara aside. "Scouts spotted rogue tracks near the summit. They're getting bold. Double our patrols," Zara ordered, "and tell Rhea to keep an eye on Kale's warriors." As Finn nodded, Zara's thoughts turned to Mara. The Elder's secrets were out. But the summit's dangers were far from over. Chapter 13. A threat looms. The summit's 6th day was tense, the air heavy with the scent of impending storm. Zara stood on a ridge overlooking the camp, her leather armor damped from earlier rain. Rhea and Finn flanked her, their faces grim as they reviewed scout reports. Rogue tracks had multiplied, circling the summit's borders. The threat was no longer hypothetical. "We can't stay here much longer," Rhea said, her voice low. "This summit's a target." Zara nodded, her amber eyes scanning the horizon. "We need to unite the packs before the rogues strike." Kale's stirring, Dissent and Mara's backing him. Finn kicked a rock, his red hair catching the wind. "Why is Jackson letting Mara run the show? He's alpha, not her." "He's trying to keep Silverclaw stable," Zara said, her tone clipped. "But he's blind to her games." As they returned to camp, Jackson approached, his expression urgent. "Zara, we need to talk. Scout reports rogues are massing. We're exposed here." "I know," Zara said, meeting his gray eyes. The mate bond stirred, but she pushed it down. "Iron Fangs ready to fight, but we need a plan." "Your pack's warriors are spread thin." Jackson nodded, his jaw tight. "I'm pulling them back to key points." "Okay, but we need the other alphas to commit." Kale's resisting, and Mara's pushing for a retreat. Zara's eyes narrowed. "Mara's protecting her deal with Kale. She's been meeting him in secret." Jackson froze, his face darkening. "What? How do you know?" "I have my sources," Zara said, not mentioning the journal yet. "You need to rein her in, Jackson, or she'll sell out this summit." He ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident. "I'll handle Mara, but we need to work together, Zara. Our packs are the strongest here. If we combine forces, fine," Zara cut in. "But this is strategy, not trust. Don't confuse the two." Jackson's eyes softened, but he nodded. "Understood. Meet me at the war tent tonight. We'll rally the alphas." That evening, the war tent was packed, alphas and betas arguing over defenses. Zara and Jackson presented a joint plan: fortified perimeters, rotating patrols, and a strike team to hit rogue camps. Their teamwork was seamless, their voices blending with the knees that drew stares. Kale opposed them, advocating for an offensive. But his arguments faltered under Zara's sharp rebuttals. After the meeting, Leela pulled Zara aside. "You and Jackson looked like a power couple in there." The other alphas noticed. Zara shook her head. "It's just necessity. The rogues are coming, Lila. We don't have time for games." As night fell, Zara and Jackson patrolled the camp's edge, their wolves alert. The bond hummed, their movements instinctively in sync. "Oh, a natural leader," Jackson said, breaking the silence. "Iron Fangs, lucky to have you." "Don't," Zara said, her voice sharp. "We're allies, for now. That's it." Jackson stopped, his gaze intense. "I know I hurt you, Zara, but watching you today, seeing what you've become, proud. And I'm sorry I wasn't there to see it happen." Zara's throat tightened, the bond pulling at her heart. She turned away, focusing on the dark forest. "Save your apologies, Jackson. We've got a fight coming." Chapter 14. The battle dawn broke with a howl that shattered the camp's uneasy calm. Rogues poured from the forest, their eyes wild, their numbers overwhelming. Zara sprinted to the Iron Fang lions, Rhea and Finn at her heels. Leather armor was tight, her dagger in hand, her wolf clawing to be free. Across the clearing, Jackson rallied Silverclaw, his voice a roar over the chaos. "Hold the line," Zara shouted, her pack forming a tight formation. Finn darted forward, his speed a blur as he took down a rogue with a precise strike. Rhea's strength anchored the center, her fists a whirlwind. Zara fought with lethal grace, her training honed by years with Iron Fang. She spotted Jackson nearby, his broadsword flashing as he carved through rogues. Their eyes met briefly, a silent acknowledgement before the battle pulled them apart. Kale's bloodstone warriors fought on the flank, but Zara noticed their hesitation, some hanging back. "Rhea," she called, "watch Bloodstone. They're not fully committed." Rhea nodded, dispatching a rogue before shifting to cover the flank. Lila, armed with a crossbow, fired from a raised platform, her shots precise. "Zara, behind you," she shouted. Zara spun, dodging a rogue's claws, and drove her dagger into its chest. The battle raged, the ground slick with mud and blood. Zara's strategy funneling rogues into kill zones worked, but their numbers were relentless. Jackson fought his way to her side, his tunic torn, blood streaking his face. "We need to hit their leader," he shouted, keys in the rear, coordinating. Zara nodded, her breath ragged. "Finn, with us. Haya, hold the line." They pushed through, Zara's speed complementing Jackson's strength. Finn's agility kept rogues at bay. They found the rogue leader, massive wolf, with scarred fur directing his pack. Zara and Jackson attacked as one, their movements a dance of instinct and bond. Finn flanked, distracting the leader, allowing Zara to land a crippling blow. Seton finished it, his sword decisive. The rogues faltered, their morale breaking. Summit packs pressed the advantage, driving them back. As the last rogue fled, Zara leaned on her knees, panting. Jackson stood beside her, his chest heaving. "You were brilliant," he said, his voice hoarse. "That strategy had saved us." Zara met his gaze, the bond warm despite her exhaustion. "We did it together," she said, the words slipping out. Before she could stop them, Finn grinned, wiping blood from his face. "Told you, Alpha. You and Jackson are unstoppable." Rhea joined them, her expression grim. "We won, but Bloodstone pulled back early. Kale's got explaining to do." Zara nodded, her eyes drifting to Jackson. The battle had forced them closer. But the war wasn't over. Chapter 15. Wounds and Words. The aftermath of the battle was a haze of smoke and sorrow. Zara walked through the camp, her boots squelching in mud, her body aching from bruises and shallow cuts. Iron Fang had lost 2 warriors, their bodies laid out for burial. She knelt beside them, whispering promises to honor their sacrifice. Rhea stood nearby, her face etched with grief, while Finn helped tend the wounded. Leela found Zara, her crossbow slung over her shoulder. "You okay?" she asked, her green eyes worried. "Physically, yes," Zara said, standing. "But this shouldn't have happened. Kale's warriors retreated too soon." Lila nodded. "Jackson's furious. He's meeting with Kale now. Should be there." Zara hesitated, then headed to the war tent. Inside, Jackson faced Kale, his voice low but lethal. "Your pack cost us lives, Kale. Explain." Kale leaned back, his blue eyes cold. My warriors followed orders. The rogues were too many. I prioritized survival. Zara stepped forward, her anger flaring. You prioritized yourself. We saw your lines falter while we bled. Kale's smile was thin. Careful, Zara. Accusations without proof breed enemies. Jackson slammed a fist on the table. Enough. Let's don't answers for this, or you're out of the coalition. Kale stood, his posture defiant, but he left without another word. Zara and Jackson remained, the silence heavy. She noticed a gash on his arm, blood seeping through his sleeve. You're hurt, she said, her voice softer than intended. It's nothing, Jackson said, but he winced as she approached. Against her better judgment, Zara grabbed a cloth and water, cleaning the wound. Her fingers brushed his skin, the bond sparking, warm and electric. Zara, Jackson said, his voice low. Thank you for today, for everything. She paused, her hand lingering. We're allies, Jackson. That's all. He caught her wrist, gently, his gray eyes searching hers. Is it? I felt you out there, Zara. We're more than allies. What? Always have been, the bond roared, urging her closer. But Zara pulled back, her heart racing. You don't get to decide that, she said, stepping away. Not after everything. She left the tent, her emotions a storm. Rhea was waiting. Outside, her expression knowing you are fighting more than rogues, Zara. Zara didn't respond, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The battle was won, but Kale's betrayal and Jackson's pull threatened to unravel everything she'd built. Chapter 16. Kale's scheme to summit camp was a patchwork of mud and tension. The aftermath of the rogue battle, leaving scars on both land and morale. Zara Finn stood at the edge of the Iron Fang tents, her amber eyes scanning the horizon for lingering threats. Her leather armor was scuffed, her dark brown braid frayed from the fight. The victory had been hard won, but Kale's half-hearted commitment gnawed at her. His Bloodstone warriors' early retreat had cost lives, and Zara wasn't ready to let it slide. Rhea approached, her scarred arms crossed, her brown eyes sharp. You're brooding again, she said, her voice gruff but concerned. Kale. Or Jackson. Both, Zara admitted, her jaw tight. Kale's playing a game. And Jackson, he's too close. Saban's messing with my head. Rhea snorted. Kale's a snake, and Jackson's a complication. Focus on the snake first. Finn jogged up, his red hair damp with sweat, his usual grin absent. Alpha, scouts found something. Bloodstone's been meeting with rogues secretly. Saw one of their warriors slip into the woods last night, talking to a rogue scout. Zara's blood ran cold. Kale's working with them. Dunno, Finn said, shrugging. But it's not good. We need to tell Jackson. Zara hesitated, the mate bond stirring at Jackson's name. She pushed it down, nodding. Get Leela. She's got connections here. We need proof before we confront. Anyone? As Finn darted off, Zara and Rhea headed to the central pavilion, where the remaining alphas gathered for a tense debrief. Jackson stood at the head, his storm gray eyes shadowed with exhaustion, his dark hair mussed. Eldamara sat nearby, her silver hair gleaming, her cold gaze fixed on Zara. Kale lounged across from her, his jet black hair slicked back, his blue eyes glinting with confidence. Zara took her seat, her posture rigid. Jackson outlined the battles. Losses, his voice steady but heavy. We held the line, but we can't afford another hit like that. We need a united front. Kale leaned forward, his smile sharp. Unity's fine, but Iron Fang's been pushing hard. Zara, maybe it's time for a stronger alliance. Bloodstone and Iron Fang could dominate this region together. The tent went silent, all eyes on Zara. The implication was clear, a political Alliance, perhaps more. Jackson's fists clenched, his gaze burning into Kale. Zara met Kale's eyes, her voice cold. Iron Fang doesn't need Bloodstone to stand tall. And I don't trust partners who abandon their allies mid-battle. Kale's smile didn't falter, but his eyes hardened. Careful, Zara. You're making enemies. Nuff, Jackson snapped, his voice a low growl. This summit's about survival, not power plays. As the meeting adjourned, Lila pulled Zara aside, her freckled face tense. Finn told me about the rogues. I dug into Kale's movements. He's been meeting someone in the eastern woods every night. I can't confirm it's rogues, but it's suspicious. Zara's jaw tightened. Tonight, we follow him. You, me, and Finn. Rhea, keep the pack ready in case this blows up. That night, under a moonless sky, Zara, Leela, and Finn crept through the forest, their steps silent. They tracked Kale's scent to a clearing, where he stood with a Rogawiri figure with a scarred face. Their voices were low, but Zara caught fragments. Weaken Silverclaw first, Kale said, then Iron Fang. The summit's the perfect stage. The rogue nodded. Our pack's ready. You get us the trade routes, we'll handle the rest. Spraz, blood boiled. She signaled Lila and Finn to retreat, her mind racing. Kill wasn't just a rival, he was a traitor. Back at camp, Zara found Jackson alone by a fire, his broad shoulders hunched. She hesitated, then spoke. Jackson, we need to talk. Kale's working with the rogues. He stood, his gray eyes intense. You're sure? I saw him, she said, her voice steady. He's planning to destabilize the summit. Need to act. Jackson nodded, his expression grim. We'll confront him tomorrow, together. The bond flared, their proximity electric, but Zara stepped back. This is for the packs, Jackson, nothing else. He held her gaze, pain flickering in his eyes. I know, but I'm not giving up on us. Zara turned away, her heart a battlefield. Kale's scheme was a clear threat. Kay's Sand's pool was a danger she couldn't ignore. Chapter 17. The bonds pulled the summit's seventh day was restless. The camp buzzing with whispers of the rogue attack. Zara woke to vivid dreams of Jackson, his gray eyes, his touch, the mate bond weaving them together. She shook them off, splashing cold water on her face, but the bond's warmth lingered, a traitor in her chest. She dressed in her armor, her resolve hardening. Kale's betrayal demanded her focus, not Jackson's regrets, at the Iron Fang tents. Rhea was sharpening her dagger, her expression grim. You look like hell, Zara. Those dreams again. Zara frowned, caught off guard. How'd you know? Wolf's restless, Rhea said, pointing her dagger. I can feel it. Jackson's getting under your skin. He's not, Zara snapped, then sighed. The bond's stronger here. I can't shake it. Finn joined them, his red hair tied back, a map in hand. Scouts confirmed more rogue tracks. They're circling closer. Kale's warriors are acting shifty. Zara nodded, her mind sharpening. We exposed Kale today. Lila's got witnesses who saw his meetings. We'll need Jackson's support to rally the other alphas. As they headed to the council tent, Lila caught up, her green eyes worried. Zara, Mara's been talking to the smaller packs, undermining you, she's saying. Iron Fang's too aggressive, stirring up the rogues. Zara's fists clenched. Mara's protecting her own power. She's in Kale's pocket. Inside the tent, the air was thick with tension. Jackson stood at the front, his presence commanding, despite the strain in his eyes. Kale sat smugly, his blue eyes glinting, while Mara's cold gaze followed Zara. The debate turned to rogue defenses, but Zara seized the moment. Before we plan, she said, her voice cutting through the chatter, we need to address a traitor. Alpha Kale's been meeting with rogues, plotting to weaken Silverclaw and Iron Fang. The tent erupted, Alpha shouting, Kale stood, his smile icy. Bold accusations. Zara, got proof? Or is this just Iron Fang's paranoia? Leela stepped forward, holding up a stolen letter. This is yours, Kale. It details your deal with the rogue straight roots for chaos. I saw you in the woods. Kale's face tightened, but he laughed. A letter, easily forged. You're desperate, Zara. Jackson's growl silenced the room. Enough. Zara's word carries weight. Kale, you'll answer to the council. Mara intervened, her voice sharp. A tease is reckless. Iron Fangs stirring division when we need unity. Zara turned on her, anger flaring. You'd know about division. Mara, you orchestrated my rejection 5 years ago to keep your grip on Silverclaw. You're no better than Kale. The tent went deathly quiet. And we went out. Gaz, Gad, Edam, and I is had guy. Mara's composure cracked, her lips thinning. I did what was best for the pack. Jackson's voice was lethal. You manipulated me. You cost me my mate. The bond surged, Zara's heart racing as Jackson's words echoed. She forced herself to focus, addressing the council. Kale's a threat. We strip his pack's summit rights until he's investigated. D. Alphas voted, narrowly siding with Zara. Kale stormed out, his parting glance promising retribution. As the meeting ended, Jackson approached Zara, his expression raw. You didn't tell me about Mara, he said. Why? I needed proof, Zara said, her voice steady. And I didn't want your pity. It's not pity, Jackson said, stepping closer. It's regret. I feel you. Zare, every day, every dream. Tate. The bond's killing me. Her breath caught, the bond pulling her toward him. Stop, she whispered. I can't do this. She walked away, her heart pounding, Ria's warning echoing in her mind. The bond was afire, and she was dangerously close to burning. Chapter 18. A test of loyalty. The summit's 8th day was a powder keg. Kale's expulsion had fractured the coalition, with some packs questioning Zara's accusations. Silverclaw faced its own turmoil as whispers of Mara's manipulation spread. Zara stood with Rhea and Finn at the Iron Fang tents, reviewing defenses. Her mind split between Kale's threat and Jackson's words. Finn paced, his red hair a mess, silver claws falling apart. Half their warriors are loyal to Mara, not Jackson. If we fight rogues again, we're screwed. Rhea nodded, her dagger tapping her thigh. Jackson's got to act, or his pack's done. Zara, you need to decide how deep we're in this. Zara's jaw tightened. We're here to stop the rogues, not fix Silverclaw's mess. But Jackson's right, we're stronger together. Lila arrived, her freckled face pale. Jackson's called a pack meeting. He's confronting Mara publicly. You should be there, Zara. Zara hesitated, the bond urging her to go. Fine. Rhea, Finn, keep the pack ready. This could get ugly. At Silverclaw's gathering hall, the air was thick with tension. Jackson stood on the platform, his broad frame rigid, his gray eyes blazing. Akara faced him, her silver hair immaculate, her expression defiant. The pack filled the hall, Their murmurs a low growl. "Mara," Jackson said, his voice carrying, "you've undermined this pack for years. You forced my hand with Zara's rejection, and now you're colluding with Kale. Step down or face exile." Mara laughed, cold and sharp. "You're weak, Jackson. You let a rejected mate cloud your judgment. Silverclaw needs strength, not sentiment." The pack erupted, some shouting support for Mara, others for Jackson. Zara stood at the back, her heart pounding. Leela whispered, "He's fighting for you, Zara. Don't you see it?" Before Zara could respond, a warrior loyal to Mara lunged at Jackson, claws extended. Zara moved without thinking, her wolf surging as she tackled the attacker, pinning him. The hall went silent, all eyes on her. Jackson nodded, gratitude in his gaze. "Enough," he roared. "Mara, you're exiled. Leave now, or face the consequences." Mara's face twisted, but she left, her allies trailing her. The pack's loyalty shifted, Jackson's authority reaffirmed. He approached Zara, his voice low. "You didn't have to do that. You needed help," Zara said, her tone clipped. "But don't read into it." His eyes softened. "Shu saved my pack. I won't forget it." As Zara left the hall, Leela caught her arm. "You're not just allies, Zara. You're saving each other." Zara shook her head, the bond a heavy. "Wait, I'm saving my pack. That's all." But as she rejoined Rhea and Finn, she knew Lila was right. Jackson's fight was becoming hers. And the bond was weaving them closer. Chapter 19. Kale's betrayal the summit's 9th day was grim. Camp on edge as rogue sightings multiplied. Zara stood with Rhea, Finn, and Lila at the war tent, poring over maps. Jackson joined them, his presence a steady anchor despite the chaos. Mara's exile had stabilized Silverclaw. Kale's absence was a looming threat. Finn pointed to a map, his red hair falling into his eyes. "Rogues are massing here, near Bloodstone's border. Kale's either lost control or he's directing them." Zara nodded, her amber eyes sharp. "He's directing them. He wants chaos to weaken us." Jackson's jaw tightened. "We need to strike their camp before they hit us again. Zara, your strategy last time worked. Can Iron Fang lead?" Zara met his gaze, the bond sparking. "We'll lead, but Silverclaw backs us. No half measures. Done," Jackson said. "Leela, get the other alphas on board." Leela nodded, darting off. Rhea leaned in, her voice low. "Kale's not just a traitor, he's desperate. Desperate wolves are dangerous." That night, Zara and Jackson scouted the rogue camp, their wolves moving silently through the forest. The bond made their coordination effortless, their senses heightened. They overheard Kale's voice, confirming his deal with the rogues: disrupt the summit, seize trade routes, and eliminate Zara and Jackson. Zara's blood ran cold. "He's targeting us both," she whispered. Jackson's eyes blazed. "He won't touch you. I swear it." The bond flared, his vow stirring something deep in Zara. She pushed it down, focusing on the plan. Back at camp, they rallied the alphas, exposing Kale's plot. The coalition united, their resolve hardened. The next morning, Zara and Jackson led a strike Team Iron, Fang, and Silverclaw warriors, with Finn's speed and Rhea's strength at the fore. They hit the rogue camp at dawn, catching Kale and his allies off guard. Zara fought with lethal precision, her dagger flashing, while Jackson's broadsword carved a path. Finn darted through the chaos, disrupting rogue formations, while Rhea held the line. Kale faced Zara, his blue eyes wild. "You should have joined me, Zara. Now you'll fall with Jackson." She dodged his strike, countering with a kick. "You're done, Kale. Your own pack will turn on you." Jackson joined her. Their attacks synced. Kale fought fiercely, but faltered under their combined strength. A rogue's claw caught Zara's side, blood seeping through her armor. Jackson roared, finishing Kale with a decisive blow as the rogues scattered. Jackson caught Zara as she stumbled, his hands gentle but firm. "You're hurt," he said, panic in his voice. "It's shallow," Zara said, wincing. "I'll live." He didn't let go, his gray eyes fierce. "I can't lose you, Zara. Not again." The bond burned, her pain blurring with his fear. She pulled away, her voice shaky. "Get me to the healers." Chapter 20. United front. Sarah lay in the healer's tent, her side bandaged, the pain a dull throb. Rhea sat beside her, her expression a mix of relief and frustration. "You scared us, Zara. Don't do that again." Zara managed a weak smile. "No promises." Finn burst in, his red hair a mess. "Kale's done. Spax surrendered, and the rogues are gone. You and Jackson were epic." Leela followed, her green eyes bright. "The summit's calling you a hero, Zara. Jackson's telling everyone how you led the charge." Zara's heart twisted, the bond humming. "It was both of us," she said, her voice quiet. Jackson entered, his tunic stained with blood, his gray eyes soft. "Can we talk?" he asked, glancing at the others. Rhea stood, herding Finn and Lila out. "Give them space," she muttered. "Alone." Jackson knelt beside Zara, his hand hovering near hers. "You scared me out there," he said. "When I saw you fall, I thought, I can't lose you, Zara. I love you. I always have." The bond roared, her defenses crumbling. "Jackson, you broke me," she whispered, tears stinging her eyes. "I feel the bond too, but I'm scared. I can't trust you." He took her hand, his touch warm. "I know, I don't deserve your trust yet, but I'll earn it, Zara, every day, for as long as it takes." She searched his eyes, seeing the boy she'd loved and the man he'd become. "I need time," she said, "but the bond never faded from me either." He nodded, hope flickering in his gaze. "I'll wait for you. I'll wait forever." As he left, Zara lay back, her heart a storm of fear and longing. Kale was defeated, but the summit's future and her own hung in the balance. She'd fought for her pack, but the fight for her heart was just beginning. Chapter 21. Healing together. The healer's tent was a haven of quiet, the air thick with the scent of herbs and clean linen. Zara Fenn lay propped on a cot, her side bandaged from the rogue battle, her amber eyes fixed on the canvas ceiling. The pain in her body was fading, but her heart churned with Jackson Rune's confession. His words, "I love you, I always have," echoed. The mate bond, a warm pulse she couldn't ignore. At 23's, Zara was no longer the broken girl rejected by Silverclaw, but an alpha of Iron Fang, a leader forged in fire. Yet Jackson's sincerity had cracked her armor, leaving her vulnerable, in a way she hadn't been in years. Rhea entered, her scarred arms crossed, her brown eyes sharp but softened by concern. "You're awake," she said, pulling up a stool. "Finn's driving the healers mad, asking when you'll be back barking orders." Zara managed a weak smile. "He's worse than a pup. How's the pack?" "Grieving our losses, but proud," Rhea said. "You and Jackson took down Kale. The summit's calling you heroes." Zara's smile faded at Jackson's name. "It wasn't just us. Q, Finn, Laya, everyone fought." Rhea leaned forward, her voice low. "Don't dodge. I saw Jackson's face when you got hurt. That man's carrying a mountain of guilt." "Did he say to you?" Zara hesitated, her fingers tracing the bandage. "He loves me, says he always has, wants to earn my trust." Rhea's eyebrows rose. "And you believe him?" "I don't know," Zara admitted, her voice raw. "Amons." "There, Rhea. It never left. But trusting him again, it's like stepping off a cliff." Rhea nodded, her gaze distant. "Love's a risk. But You're not the girl he rejected. You're an alpha. If he wants you, he'll have to match your strength. Before Zara could respond, Lila burst in, her auburn hair wild, her freckled face alight. Zara, you're awake. Finn's telling everyone you wrestled Kale single-handed. Zara snorted. Finn's tales get taller every day. Lila plopped onto the cot, edge, her green eyes mischievous. Jackson's been hovering outside like a lost wolf. Want me to send him in? No, Zara said quickly. Then softer, not yet. I need to think. Lila's grin faded, replaced by understanding. Fair, but he's changed. Zara, he's fighting for Yuan for Silverclaw. Mara's exile shook him. Zara's jaw tightened at Mara's name. Okay. The elder's manipulation had cost her years of pain, but confronting it had lifted a weight. Mara's gone, she said. Oh, I need to figure out what's next. That evening, Jackson appeared at the tent's entrance, his broad frame silhouetted against the torchlight. His dark hair was mussed, his storm-gray eyes cautious. Can I come in? Zara nodded, sitting up despite the twinge in her side. He sat beside her, his hands clasped, his presence filling the space. How are you feeling? He asked. Better, she said, her voice guarded. What do you want, Jackson? He met her gaze, unflinching. To be honest, I meant what I said. I love you. I know I hurt you, Zara, and I'll carry that shame forever. But I see you now, the alpha, the woman you've become. I want a chance to stand beside you, not as your savior, but as your equal. Her heart raced, the bond urging her closer. Words are easy, Jackson. You broke me once. Why should I risk it again? 'Cause I'm not that boy anymore, he said, his voice low but fierce. I was weak, letting Mara and my father control me. I've spent 5 years regretting it, feeling the bond tear me apart. I'll prove myself, Zara, however long it takes. She searched his eyes, seeing pain, resolve, and something deeper love. I need time, she said finally, and proof. My pack comes first. He nodded, a flicker of hope in his gaze. I'll respect that, but I'm here, Zara, for you, for Iron Fang, for whatever comes next. As he left, Zara leaned back, her emotions a storm. The bond was undeniable, but trust was a fragile thing, and she wasn't ready to give it yet. Chapter 22. The choice, the summit's final days, were a blur of negotiations. The camp slowly dismantling as packs prepared to depart. Zara, now healed enough to walk, stood at the Iron Fang tents, her leather armor replaced by a simple tunic. A side ached, but her resolve was steel. Kale's defeat had united the coalition. But the future of Iron Fernand, her heart loomed large. Rhea and Finn joined her, their faces reflecting the pack's mix of pride and exhaustion. The Alphas want a permanent council, Rhea said, handing Zara a scroll. They're asking you to lead it. Zara's eyebrows rose. Me? Why not Jackson? Finn grinned, his red hair catching the sunlight. You're the one who called out Kale, took down rogues, and stood up to Mara. You're a legend, Alpha. Zara shook her head, but the idea sparked something. A council could protect border packs, prevent another Kale, but it meant staying tied to the region and to Jackson. Leela arrived, her crossbow slung over her shoulder. Zara, the council votes tonight. Jackson's backing you, but some packs are nervous. They think you're too tied to Iron Fang. I am, Zara said, her voice firm. My pack's my priority, but if a council keeps us safe, I'll consider it. Leela hesitated, then spoke. Jackson's talking about a joint patrol system, Silverclaw and Iron Fang leading. It'd mean working with him closely. You okay with that? Zara's chest tightened, the bond humming. I'll do what's best for Iron Fang, she said, avoiding the deeper question. That afternoon, Zara met with her pack, their faces a mix of scars and hope. The summit's ending, she said, her voice carrying. We've proven Iron Fang's strength, but the region's still fragile. A council could protect us, but it ties us to Silverclaw and others. What do you think? Rhea spoke first. We trust you, Zara. If you lead a council, we'll follow. But don't lose sight of us. Finn nodded, his grin fierce. Show him how Iron Fang does it, Alpha. And if Jackson's involved, keep him in line. The pack laughed, their support warming Zara. She dismissed them, her mind churning. Stay independent, or risk entanglement with Jackson for a greater good. That evening, at the council vote, Zara stood beside Jackson, their presence a united front. The Alphas chose her to lead, her reputation sealing the decision. As the crowd dispersed, Jackson turned to her, his gray eyes warm. You're the right choice, he said. I'll back you, Zara. Whatever you need. She met his gaze, the bond sparking. It's about the pack's Jackson. But I'm not ruling out more. Just don't push. He smiled, a rare softness in his face. I won't. You set the pace. As Zara walked away, Rhea caught her eye, a knowing look passing between them. Zara had chosen her pack, but the door to Jackson was cracked open. She wasn't sure where it led. Chapter 23. Facing the pack, the journey back to Silverclaw's central hall was a homecoming Zara never expected. She rode at the head of the Iron Fang delegation, her pack a disciplined column behind her. Rhea and Finn flanked her, their presence steady, while Lila rode ahead, her diplomatic skills smoothing their entry. The council's formation required Zara to address Silverclaw's elders, demanding accountability for Mara's actions. But the real challenge was facing the pack that had watched her rejection and Jackson, who now stood as their alpha. The hall was packed, its stone walls echoing with murmurs. Zara stood on the platform, her tunic bearing Iron Fang's claw insignia, her amber eyes scanning the crowd. Jackson stood beside her, his broad frame tense, his gray eyes fixed on his pack. The remaining elders, 3 grizzled wolves, led by Elder Torian, no relation to Jackson's late father, sat in the front, their faces unreadable. Zara spoke, her voice clear. 5 years ago, I stood here as a rejected mate, humiliated by your elder, Mara. She manipulated Jackson, your alpha, to break our bond, fearing my strength. I'm here to demand accountability, not for me, but for your pack. Secrets, like Mara's, weaken us all. The crowd stirred, some nodding, others whispering. Elder Torrance stood, his white beard trembling. Mara's actions were her own. We didn't know. You should have, Zara said, her gaze hard. Elder's guide, not control. You failed Jackson, and you failed Silverclaw. Jackson stepped forward, his voice a low growl. Zara's right. Mara's gone, but we're not free of her shadow. I was weak then, letting her sway me. I won't make that mistake again. A woman in the crowd, Onia, a warrior Zara remembered stood. Alpha Zara, you've proven your strength, but why return? What do you want from us? Zara met her gaze. I want Silverclaw to be a true ally. Iron Fang's leading a council to protect this region. Join us, but only if you're honest about your past, about your future. The pack murmured, some with respect, others with skepticism. Leela leaned toward Zara, whispering, they're listening. Keep going. Zara continued, outlining the council's goals: trade equity, rogue defenses, pack autonomy. Jackson backed her, his voice steady. Silverclaw will join the council, he said. Zara's vision is our future. The Tauren nodded, his voice grudging. We accept your terms, Alpha Zara. Mara's actions shamed us. We'll rebuild trust. As the meeting ended, the crowd dispersed, some approaching Zara with cautious respect. Anya clasped her arm. You're not the girl I knew, she said. You're a leader. Zara nodded, her throat tight. Neither are you, Anya. We've both grown, Outside, Jackson caught up to her, his expression raw. You were incredible in there. Thank you for calling them out, for giving us a chance. Zara met his gaze, the bond warm. I did it for the council. But I'm glad you're fighting for your pack. He smiled, hope in his eyes. I'm fighting for more than that, Zara. She walked away, her heart lighter but wary. Silverclaw was an ally, but Jackson's pull was a risk she wasn't ready to take. Chapter 24. A new Banda Iron Fang camp was a bustling hub, its cabins and training grounds a testament to Zara's leadership. Weeks had passed since the summit, and the council was taking shape with Zara at its helm. She stood on a hill overlooking the territory, her dark brown hair loose, her amber eyes reflecting the setting sun. The mate bond with Jackson was a constant hum, no longer a pain, but a question one she was beginning to answer. Rhea joined her, her beta's presence grounding. Council's first meeting's tomorrow, she said. Silverclaws, sending Jackson. You ready to work with him? Zara nodded, her jaw set. He's proven himself, exiling Mara, backing the council. I can't keep pushing him away. Rhea's lips twitched. About time. Your wolf's been whining for him. Zara shot her a glare, but it lacked heat. Don't start. Finn bounded up, his red hair a mess, his grin wide. Alpha, Jackson's here early. Says he wants to talk strategy or maybe just talk to you. Zara sighed, but her heart skipped. Send him up. Jackson arrived, his dark hair windswept, his gray eyes warm. He wore a simple tunic, the silver claw crest subtle. Zara, he said, his voice soft. You look at home. I am, she said, gesturing to the camp. Iron Fang's my heart, but the council's my duty. He nodded, stepping closer. I've been thinking about us. I know you need time, but I want to start somewhere. A partnership, Silverclaw and Iron Fang, side by side. And maybe, one day, more. The bond flared, her wolf urging her forward. Zara met his gaze, her voice steady. I'm not ready to be your mate again, Jackson, but I'm ready to try slowly, as equals. His smile was radiant, relief softening his features. Equals. I can do that. They walked through the camp, discussing council plans, their voices blending easily. Finn and Lila watched from afar. Finn, nudging Lila, told you they'd figure it out. Lila grinned. They're not there yet, but it's a start. Night at a communal fire, Zara and Jackson sat with the pack, sharing stories. Rhea recounted Zara's first hunt. Finn exaggerated their bear fight, and Lila teased Jackson about his summit brooding. The pack laughed, their unity a balm to Zara's soul. As the fire died, Jackson leaned toward Zara. This feels right, he said. You, me, our packs. I'll earn your trust, Zara, I promise. She nodded, the bond a warm thread. I'm holding you to that. Chapter 25. Alpha's promised the council's first meeting was held in a neutral clearing, a circle of stones. Marking its center, Zara stood at the head, her tunic bearing Iron Fang's insignia, her amber eyes commanding. Jackson sat beside her, representing Silverclaw, his presence a steady support. Rhea, Finn, and Lila were there, along with alphas from smaller packs. Their faces a mix of hope and caution. Zara spoke, her voice clear. This council exists to protect our region, trade, defense, justice. No pack stands above another. We start with open borders and shared patrols. An alpha from a border pack. Soren nodded. Iron Fang's proven it can lead. We're with you, Zara, Jackson added. Silverclaw commits warriors and resources. We'll rebuild trust, starting now. The meeting set planned strayed routes, rogue patrols, a tribunal for disputes. As it ended, the alphas clasped arms, their alliance sealed. Zara felt a surge of pride, her vision taking root. Afterward, Jackson pulled her aside, his gray eyes warm. You did it, Zara. This council, it's your legacy. Our legacy, she corrected, the bond humming. You've changed, Jackson. I see it. He took her hand, his touch gentle. I'm yours, Zara. Mate or not, I'm yours. She squeezed his hand, her heart opening. We'll rebuild the bond, Jackson, on my terms, as equals. He nodded, hope blazing in his eyes. I'll keep my promise. As they rejoined their packs, Rhea clapped Zara's shoulder. Proud of you, Alpha. You've built something bigger than us. Finn grinned, nudging Leela. Told you she'd save the region and, maybe, Jackson. Leela laughed, her eyes bright. She's Zara Finn. What else did you expect? Zara looked at her pack, her allies, and Jackson, her heart full. She was an alpha, a leader, a woman who turned pain into power. With Jackson at her side, equal and true, she faced the future not as a rejected mate, but as a force to shape it.